Welcome to Underrated Democracy.
Emergencies Act Commission, they named a Liberal staffer as the independent commissioner. For the foreign interference rapporteur, they named the Prime Minister's ski buddy and member of the Trudeau Foundation. And now they needed someone to be the ethics commissioner, so they named a Liberal minister's sister-in-law to that position of independent ethics commissioner. The same minister who's already been found guilty of violating the law. Mr. Speaker, when is this Liberal government going to run out of family and friends to name as independent officers?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the ski buddy that the honourable member refers to is David Johnston, an eminent Canadian who actually Stephen Harper chose to be Governor-General of this country, and who he stood in his place and commended as being a good choice and one that was appropriate as Governor-General. To suggest that David Johnston doesn't have in his heart the best interests of Canada as he looks at the issue of foreign interference is ridiculous. With respect to the position that he has just referred to on the interim ethics commissioner, again, this was somebody who's been in that office for 10 years, who came in when Stephen Harper was in office, and is second in command in that office.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
You can almost imagine the conversation between the Liberal Intergovernmental Affairs Minister, who was found guilty of breaking the ethics law, and the Prime Minister, who's twice been found guilty of breaking the ethics law, saying, how are we going to quit getting found guilty? I know, we'll appoint my sister-in-law as the ethics commissioner. What a plan. It is foolproof, Mr. Speaker. My question, though, is when are they, the problem is pretty soon they're going to run out of family and friends, and after they do, how are they going to avoid their next conviction for breaking the law?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
There's a place where comedy routines can be tried out. I would suggest that it's not on the floor of the House of Commons. What I will say about the conversations that have taken place in the Ethics Commissioner's office is that for 10 years, the individual in question, who was appointed at the time of Stephen Harper's time in office, that Ethics Commissioner, in which she is number 2 in charge, has absolutely made hard decisions on this government, and by the way, other parties, and has comported themselves with total professionalism. What isn't professional is to take somebody who's worked in the public service for 10 years, making hard decisions, including hard decisions that affected this government, and treat them in that way, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes.
The Liberal Prime Minister and his gang of serial lawbreakers were told by the outgoing Ethics Commissioner to take remedial ethics training. But instead of that, at Sunday brunch, this Liberal Cabinet Minister turned to his sister-in-law and said, how about we make you the new Ethics Commissioner instead? When are these Liberals going to take their responsibilities seriously and appoint someone who's independent and can restore accountability to this place for all Canadians?
Hey, bravo. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Ethics Commissioner's role is extremely important in our democracy. Over the last 10 years in which the person they're referring to has been in the office, and they were appointed at the time of Stephen Harper in the number 2 position, they've taken a lot of difficult positions against this government and, frankly, against that party, which have been well received in the sense that, Mr. Speaker, the Ethics Commissioner's job is to hold us to the highest possible standard. The idea that a public servant can't, when they have a screen in place, do their job or set aside differences is not realistic, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député de